Hello, hello, hello. Yes, yes. Guess what time is it? It is Storytime Sunday with yours truly, Verona Willis Brown. So we are here again. So we are rolling out September. September just got here. We're rolling it out. I don't know. I am telling you. But anyway. I am so grateful to be here another Sunday as we continue to read our book, It Happened to Nancy. So, Storytime Sunday. You must be asking, what is that? Storytime Sunday is where I dedicate this time. I mean, this time, right now, right there, where you see live, this time. I dedicate it to the youths. The youth, the youth, the youth. The youth are our future. And if we don't deposit in them, who will, right? They're deposited in themselves. But we who already past youthful age, teenager, all that good stuff, should come back and pour in them. Drop a little dime, a little water, jam, whatever is it, a golden nugget, so they can make smart decisions. And that's why I'm here every Sunday around this time, live. See right there, live. So if you're on the live and you're seeing that, simply mean you're here with me. So I want to thank you. Yeah. Okay. So let us jump into it. What I do on a Sunday is that I go on my bookshelf and I get a book I read to my daughter many years ago, or a book she read to herself, but I never read. I purchased, but I never read it. She knew the topic, she knew the title, she knew the storyline, so I purchased the book. Absolutely. So here we go. This is one of the books that I never read and I never got into it. This book got contents that we need to talk about. As parents, as mentor, as community leaders, as teachers, as big sister, as the neighbor, we need to talk about it. Right here. It's about sexual abuse. This book is about a 14-year-old girl who fell in love with a college student. Well, if you are watching, you realize that he was not a college student after all. We thought he was when we started reading the storyline. That's what she said. And she was smitten. Smitten. Do you remember those moments? She was smitten by this boy. And on their very, very first sexual encounter, she invited him to her house while her mother was out working. So she was home alone and she invited her lovely boyfriend to come over. And what happened? They got smooshy and touchy, had a little drink of some kind, and he raped her. Yes, he raped her. Well, that's bad enough. He dumped her after that. Dumped her. Ghosted. Gone. Bye. Oh, so we thought that was just bad? It got worse. After a while, she realized that she was infected with HIV. Absolutely. He infected her and left her just like that. So here is little Nancy, who is 14 years old, has her diary, and she journaled her private stuff in there. Who remember having their diary? So when we have our diary, we tuck it somewhere and we hid it from everybody, parents, sister, everybody. But here is Nancy's diary. She journaled and journal everything in there as she got closer and closer to death because the HIV virus took over her body and turned into full-blown AIDS. How often do you survive with that, right? She was dying. Oftentimes she was begging. She was begging death to come and get her. She wanted to be out. But as she got closer and closer, she pulled out her private diary and she asked her mom to make it public. Not because she wants you to know her business, but she wants someone else to read her story, hoping she would inspire at least one person reading her story, and hoping at least one person would not make the same mistake she did. So here is Nancy's story as I read from her diary in the format she wrote it, in the words she wrote it. The only thing changes were names. So I will turn the pages as we read Nancy's diary, hoping the same thing she hoped for then, that it will inspire at least one person, encourage one person, motivate one person, and hope at least one person would make a smart decision and not make a decision like what Nancy did. So if you've been watching the previous videos, you'll see the format of her diary. So let us jump right into our reading for today as we continue reading this story. Well, grab yourself, someone, share this video. Right there, you see it live? Yes, let's share this live video as we get this topic back on the table in your home or in the classroom, in the community, wherever. We just need this topic to be back. So let us dive into where we left off last week. If you were following the video last week, you know where we left off. We will not jump into that, but we will roll into the pages. We almost finished Nancy's story. We're going. So let us go right in there. We're in Wednesday, September 18. I've been well enough to go back to mom for ages. But Dr. Max won't release me until he absolutely, positively, for sure, certain that my good bugs are in charge of my bad bugs. Saturday, September 21st at 6:11 a.m. I'm flying home at 2 p.m. this afternoon. I'm not sure I can wait that long. I am so happy. I'll miss Dad a lot. And I'll miss Adam and his family too. They're like my second family. I've spent almost more than there than I have with Dad. I wish Dad was a dentist so he could just work certain hours and be through. He's a slave to his business. Adam's mom worked 2 mornings a week in her husband's office. So she's always home with food and smiles and stuff when we go over there. I almost can't remember when mom didn't work and I didn't have a couple of hours by myself after school before she got home. Life is really weird, isn't it? Nobody ever got everything all good. It's like with Adam and his buddies. They're always talking about girls, but they never seem to go with them. So, is it just me and Adam and them when we're together? I mostly just listen while they talk sports and rollerblades and stuff. I'm really going to miss Adam. But the crappy school, happy school, I'm going to erase completely out of my mind and never think about it again. I wish. Thursday, October 31st, 1:32 a.m. Halloween. Dearest, dear self, I'm so sorry. I haven't written in you for so long. But you are ever in my heart, right? Right. I have been so busy trying to catch up and socially and every other way that I've hardly had time to breathe. And I have been so contented, nurtured, loved, babied, spoiled, and all the other good and belonging happy words they are that, well, I promise I'll be better about writing in the future. Okay? Am I forgiven? Thanks. Tonight, Lou and his buds had a party in Mr. Demmer's old barn. It was so scary that I'm sure people could hear us screaming in the next town. Jed's dad is a doctor, and he had Ivy running into purple and green corpse. And there were headless people and arms and stuff that the guys must have gotten at a costume place or made out of paper mache or something. And they must have used gallons of ketchup. Lou looked through the spook alley. I was hanging on to him like I've been wanting to do for ages. Although not in that exact setting. After we'd eaten their gross menu. Hot dogs with blood, which is ketchup. Green tone jam with chopped pickles. Syrup, which is mustard. Sunburned peel, which is potato skin. Arsenic, apple cider. Mud pies. Marshmallow brownies. We danced, and I thought I'd gone to heaven. I couldn't believe it when a big gong sounded once, and the guys all began scrambling because they promised Mr. Detmer the end at 1 a.m. Now, for the nicest part. Lou drove me home. Of course, the back seat was filled with arms and legs and other gruesome tidbits. But that didn't matter. Nothing mattered beside the fact that just the two of us had our own space, our own world, our own us. Friday, November 1st. Life is so wonderful. I resent having to waste time sleeping. Saturday, November 2nd. Lou had gone to visit relatives for the weekend. In a way, I resent that too. Because between student government, every sport that was ever created, getting good grades, the school newspaper, etc., 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 he has little time for me. I resent all of the above, but never, well, hardly ever, the time he spent with his mom. She was in what they call a state of MS, reminiscing, for a while. But now she's getting worse fast. I'm I'm proud that Lou is good to her. He takes her on long walks in her wheelchair and carries her in and out to his car for church and special events, which he loves. He is really wonderful and considerate and patient, the way I always like to be. And most of the time, I'm not. Friday, November 22nd. I'm taking piano and flute lessons again and working hard at school and studying at home. And I'm trying to be as considerate and respectful of my mom as Lou is of his. But I gotta admit, I got a way to go. A long way. Uh, Come on. Self, give me a brownie point or two for trying. I may not be good, but I am better. There. November 28th. Thanksgiving. Blessed Thanksgiving. Dad flew home to have Thanksgiving with Mom and me. We drove to Hilton Head and stayed at Dad's cousin beach house. I felt like a little kid again, walking down the windy shore with Mom holding tightly to one hand and Dad holding tighter to the other. Sometimes we run away from each other and play hide and seek, sort of, in the tall rushes of the dunes. We stretch out flat on our stomachs or backs, and you could practically step on someone before you see them. Once Dad burrowed into the sand, and Mom and I both look until we each, in frustration, yell, "I give up." Then Dad popped up right between us. We ate dinner at our charming little lighthouse looking place overlooking the pounding waves at Rocky Point. It was the kind of making a memory day that Thanksgiving was meant to be. Ending up with us playing the old 1, 2, 3, snap your fingers game. All in this time, instead of using states or cars or colors or girls' name, etc., we used things we were thankful for. And we played till the logs in the fireplace had turned into red embers. Who knows that game? If you do know that game, let me know that you know that game. Sometimes you have to go and play those games and let your childhood memories ignite. Even then, we had run out of things to be thankful for. Although we were sometimes getting down to mini blessings, like liver and sea, slugs, while we laugh and playfully hit one on each other. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I got to do all the driving. 1:52 a.m. I'm in the bathroom flushing the toilet so mom and dad won't hear me sob. About 1 hour ago, mom's muffled crying woke me up. I hurried into the bedroom and snuggled up next to her in bed. She whispered that she was crying from complete happiness. But I don't think so. Not with dad sleeping up in the loft. I softly rubbed her shoulder and back like she has so often done mine when I needed her, and she soon fell asleep. Now I'm wide awake and wondering about everything. Sunday, December 1st. We took dad to the airport and we all cried. Only then did mom and dad hug each other like they really meant it. It was happy but sad too, because none of us wanted to break up. After a while, dad hesitantly asked mom if we both come to Phoenix for Christmas, if he sent us ticket as early present. Mom and I jumped up and down like she was part of the goggle and said, yes, 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 over and over again. Do you think possible? Maybe. I'm afraid to hope. But I do hope. So, anyway. Saturday, December 21st. Lou hurt both legs skiing. They had to bring him down the mountain on a snowcat. I wanted to be there with him. But of course, that's impossible. He's in traction. So he'll have to stay with his uncle and aunt in Colorado for what seems like forever to me. I wish I could do something more than just right. Saturday, January 4th. Dear self, I'm so sorry. I haven't talked with you for so long. But I've been living in heaven since Lou broke his right leg and hurt his left ankle. His mom asked me if I'll drive his car and take him to and from school. And it turned into my being a full-time Lou sitter. But I don't mind. Oh, goodness, no. I don't mind. In fact, I insisted. I need to be needed. It's good for me. We're together for early, we're together from early morning every day until sometimes late at night. He's in a wheelchair, but he can lift himself but with upper body strength and out of the car. I take him to the library and to all of his meetings and games and stuff. The maid takes his mom where she has to or wants to go. I as used to their house as mine, and certainly getting acquainted with wheelchairs with both of them in what they call their racing machines. Mm. Lou isn't as fancy as his mom's. Hers run on batteries, and she shifted like a car. I think I'm good for her, and she and Lou are better than they ever know for me. I'm feeling better than I've felt in ages. How are you feeling? I hated to leave for the 3 days Mom and I went to Phoenix for Christmas. But Lou's brother were there. So I'm sure they didn't miss me. Actually, I deeply hope that they did miss me a little. No, I want them to have missed me a lot. We had fun in Phoenix, putting up the tree in the patio by the pool and taking Mom over to Adams so she could hear the almost all read or begins, etc. It was deeply hurtful when we had to leave. I know Mom and Dad still love each other in many ways, but Dad has pictures of Liz all over. I could see that pain, Mom. I miss the goggle. They are like my sisters and not my brother. I wanted them to be with us, to do all the fun things that are there to do in Phoenix, especially Dory. She needs some interest in her life. She's not the same since, you know, I wish I could do something. But we are all helpless to fill in that hole. Lou left leg is, okay, and his right one is in a walking cast. So he's back on his feet. He's happy, but I'm stubborn. It was so wonderful feeling needy, necessary, helpful, actually essential. I've never felt so fulfilled in my life. He's always telling me how much he loves me for what I did for him. Like I didn't love doing it. Like it didn't make me feel good. Sunday, January 5th. Life is still magnificent, glorious, and heavenly with just one horrible pattern. The police called and said no one has been able to locate Colin. So if you've been listening and been following Storytime Sunday, you know who is Colin. Colin is the boy who raped her and infected her with HIV, then dumped her. They wanted to come talk to me some more. I yelled, no, 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 and broke down completely. I don't know what else they want me to tell them. I've dumped my whole load of goggy garbage. They seem to expect me to go back and wallow in it, wallow in it, wallow in it. For nothing. I won't. They can't make me. The police keep beating me down to a pulp while continues out there unchecked, spreading its sunshine. Well, hardly sunshine, more like death. But I won't think about that anymore. Come on, Scarlett, help me. Help me think about it next never day. Tuesday, January 14th. Dearest self, please, please tell me I'm wrong. But I know you can't. I'm beginning to run down again, aren't I? I can feel it like air being let out like a balloon. I'm trying so hard to eat right and to exercise and to rest and to not let my emotions control me. But I can feel some unknown slowly sucking the energy out of me like evil, black, slimy, living thing. Oh, forget the above. I'm just being paranoid. I've got to snap out of it. You gotta help me. Self, I know you will. And thanks. I just got to have an attitude. I just gotta have an attitude problem. Boo-hoo, me. January 15th. I'm so depressed. I'm like I'm floundering in black quicksand. The world has slowed down to a snooze and has just lost its color and happy sound. There is no way out, north, south, east, or west, up or down. I can't. I won't let anybody see this, see me like this. As we come to the end of Storytime Sunday, this is your girl, Verona Willis Brown, saying, it happened to Nancy, and it can happen to you. It might not be the same story as Nancy. This is Nancy's story. Well, what is your story? It could be anything because it is life. And life could happen to you today, tomorrow, or just right now. Whatever it is, whatever your private story is, always know your story can make a difference to someone else. Here is Nancy's story. She hoped, she hoped it makes a difference to you. Go out there, protect yourself. Protect yourself not only from what is going on in the environment today, what is going on in the world today. Protect yourself overall, sexually, emotionally, mentally. Protect yourself. Here is Nancy, who was exposed at the age of 40, and as she journaled to her dying days, she hoped that you or I learn a lesson and make smart decisions. This is your girl saying thank you for tuning in to the live that's up there. And if you so, watch the replay, hashtag replay, and let us continue on this message, on this journey, talking about what we need to protect ourselves from. Let us bring this back to the table. Again, the book is called It Happened to Nancy. See you next week, same time, same place, as we continue to turn the pages of this private entry with a public message. Thank you for tuning in.